shingles for 12 years. People understand when I say delicious, but I really mean delicious. Poetic license.
Well, I've been eating tuna fish for 72 years, and I can tell you that Flotkins isn't delicious, and it isn't delicious, it's rancid.
What do you
You
mean?
like to discover rancid, Jerry?
What do you mean, Abe?
I mean, there was a can in the kitchen, I opened it for lunch, and it was rancid.
Oh.
You got something that rhymes with rancid?
Abe, the people at the ad agency just gave me that can. Well, they were shooting a television commercial with it. Put under the hot lights for hours.
So that's what a jingle writer gets, eh, Jerry? You know now, if you were something respectable like an architect or a periodontist, people might not try and pay you off with hot, poison tuna fish.
Ah, Abe, they only gave me the can so I could look at it and maybe get a little inspiration.
Maybe they said indigestion. Anyway, what kind of an inspiring name was Flotkins for a tuna fish?
I think it was Mrs. Flotkins' idea.
Chicken of the sea. There, now that has a ring to it. Flotkins got a picture of a mermaid on the can. What does Mrs. Flotkins have in her can? You should find the expression, a fish wearing a top hat.
Hey, that's Mr. Finney, and he's finicky about good taste.
Oh, sure, Mr. Finney. The fish wearing a top hat and tails. Jerry, who's probably out dancing and whoring around till all hours of the night. Now, is that good taste? A gigolo tuna fish? Now you give up too easy. 6 weeks I've lived here and you've never gotten into a good solid argument with me yet?
Why would I want to get into an argument?
Because you're a son-in-law. It's your God-given right.
Abe, you don't need me to argue with. You get into an argument with poor old Mr. Wasserman every day he comes over to play cards.
Wasserman. Wasserman's a retired pharmacist, Jerry. That man couldn't get into a fight with an unarmed terrorist.
And you?
Me, I drove cab in New York for 50 years. You argue for survival. Becomes a part of your health regimen.
Arguing is good for your health?
What, you didn't know that? Of course it is. It relieves tension and stress. Well, you know some people tense up now. They take pills, they drink, they smoke. They even mess around on the side. Me, I argue with presto. The headaches,
Keep going.
Me, I argue with bingo. Tension's gone and no side effects.
Yeah, for you there's no side effects. What about the people you argue with?
If they'd argue back, they'd be fine. Louise and I were married for 48 years, Jerry. There wasn't a day went by that we didn't have at least one good argument. Now, someday it was just a little, someday just a little bone to pick, sometimes a little snide remark. But on a good day, that woman and I would fight tooth and nail. For 48 years, we were healthy and happy. And then I went and messed it all up.
What do you mean?
Well, Louise got sick, and me, like a fool, I made the mistake of being nice to her. For 2 weeks, I walked around smiling and happy, and bingo, she dropped dead. I tell you, I learned my lesson, Jerry. An argument today keeps the doctor away, if you get my gist.
And that heart attack you had a couple of months ago, Abe, that doesn't count?
What heart attack? I never had a heart attack. I had gas. Gas runs in my family.
They put you in intensive care for gas?
They didn't put me in intensive care. There was no they. There was one Chinaman doctor. He put me in intensive care for gas.
Come on, Abe. Dr. Soong is one of the best heart specialists in the entire country.
Chinamen specialize in laundry and in takeout foods, in little radio.
That's Japanese.
Same difference. But Chinaman does not specialize in hearts. An American specializes in hearts.
Abe, you are such a bigot. Dr. Soong is an American.
You know how my father, he should rest in peace, died? At 84, he fell off a horse. And my grandfather, at 96, he fell off my grandmother.
What?
I wouldn't lie. They were up in the hayloft making love. He rolled over, he fell 15 feet, boom, he was gone.
They were making love in a hayloft?
Why do you think people only do it in the dark?
In a room?
I know, I'm sorry.
Go.
You think people only do it in the bedroom with the lights out? A sophisticated jingle writer from Stamford, Connecticut like yourself?
No, I mean, they were still doing it at 96 years old?
That's not the point, Jerry. The point is, the men in the Dreyfus family do not have heart attacks. We have gas. Sometimes we fall, but heart attacks never.
Come in.
Buenas tardes, Mr. Sloan.
Hi, Hector.
Mr. Dreyfus.
Dreyfus, not Dreyfus.
I'm almost finished cutting the grass.
Now, don't let me stop you.
It's a beautiful day to cut the grass, see?
I saw I was out already.
It is not too hot.
Well, it's not too cool.
It's just right.
Well, that just about covers the weather, doesn't it? Would you like to move on to sports and politics now?
Oh, sorry, no. I have no time to chat shit. I got to cut the grass.
Hector, the grass is out there.
Oh, yeah, sure, but first I got to go to the bathroom. See you later, Mr. Sloan. Mr. Dreyfus.
Dreyfus! Damn, what backs can never see drive? $73.50.
Huh?
I know it's none of my business, Jerry, but damn it, someone's got to keep track. $73.50.
You lost me, Abe.
Well, I'll make it simple for you. Now that Hector fella, he comes over every couple of days and does odd jobs for you, right?
Right.
You pay him $6 an hour, correct?
Correct.
That's 10 cents a minute, yes?
Well, I never really thought of it that way, Abe, but yeah.
And Jerry, have you ever noticed that every time he comes over, he uses your bathroom? That man spends a lot of time up in your bathroom?
So?
So ever since I've been living here, he's spent a grand total of 12 hours and 15 minutes up there. Jerry, you have paid him $73.50 for sitting on your toilet.
Oh, come on, Abe. Hector doesn't charge me for the time he spends in the bathroom.
You know that for a fact?
Well, no, but
I rest my case. Incidentally, if you ever want to cut your expenses, I'd gladly sit in your toilet for $4 an hour.
I give up.
I have years of experience.
I already gave up.
$3.50 an hour plus car fare is my final offer.
Hi, honey.
Hi, I thought you had a late recording session.
Oh, we canceled. The agency and the client couldn't agree on the lyrics, so I got home early. By the way, where were you?
What do you mean?
When I called your office this afternoon, your secretary said that you were out.
Well, I guess I was out. How are you today, old man? What did you do all day?
Well, let me see now. This morning I read the paper. Oh, and this afternoon I had a near brush with death. A certain Mrs. Plotkin tried to murder me. Attempted poisoning.
Daddy, are you sending more postcards?
And she had an accomplice, a Mr. Finney, slippery fella. Will you represent me in court?
Daddy, you promised you wouldn't send any more postcards.
I promised you I wouldn't buy any more postcards. I already had 50 left. What do you want me to do? Write recipes on the back?
And what am I supposed to do when a client calls? How do I explain WW whatever?
It is not WW whatever, Alice. It is WCNW. Like country and western, CNW. Now when the phone rings, you pick it up and you say, WCNW plays the country hit you all want to hear. And then Big Tex Winslow, he comes on the phone and he tells you how much money you've won. And the jackpot's $1,180 already. And it goes up $10 every time some jerk says, hello?
Well, I promise you, when our phone rings, this jerk is going to say, hello?
Would you excuse me? I have to go out and mail these postcards. I'll take the long way so you can have time to talk about me.
What makes you think we're going to talk about you?
You always talk about me when you get home. Tonight you're home early? You can talk about me early. Believe me, I am flattered.
We are not going to talk about you! We've got to talk about him.
Serious Abe talk or regular Abe talk?
Serious.
I'll make us a drink. Honey, why do you want to put yourself through all this again? I thought we decided he was staying.
Yes, did we decide he would stay with us forever?
You promised your mother you'd take care of her.
Oh, I don't believe this. He's my father, and you're the one that's willing to put up with it.
Well, actually, I like her. But then I never had a...
It's what he lives for. Doesn't he ever get to you?
Sometimes. For the most part, I think I'm used to it. He's like my mother. It's a defense mechanism.
Your mother and my father.
She's like two peas in a pod.
Killer peas, baby.
Your Honor. It was not a carving knife, it was a cake cutter.
Well, she thought it was.
Objection. Hearsay.
No, what it was that he said to her to make her come after him was a knife.
Ah.
Sorry, Your Honor, a cake cutter. Anyway, it was a good thing that the caterer grabbed it out of her hand.
It was his best cake cutter. Anyway, do you know how your father-in-law or your great-grandfather died?
Sure, he fell off great-grandmother. They were doing it in the hayloft.
You never told me that.
Well, I was waiting for a chance to slip it into the conversation. Anyway, my great-grandfather is the problem here. It's my father.
Honey, we said, this doesn't have to be a forever decision. We said we'd play it by ear. Now, it's only been a couple of months. I mean, why do you want to dredge all this up again?
Do you really want to know?
Well, I bought you a drink, lady. Well, at least I can get a little straight talk.
How should I put this?
Well, I prefer straight and to the point, but I'll settle for the inimitable beat around the bush style we all know and love.
Remember last month?
June, one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, remember the night we spent in New York at Brian Sharon's apartment? We drank all that wine?
I don't remember. We drank all that wine.
There. About that night.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're pregnant. Are you pregnant? Of course! You said you could get pregnant, and you got pregnant! That's what this whole age discussion is about. You're pregnant! Are you pregnant?
Well,
Alice, if this were a Gallup poll, you'd be entitled to a no opinion.
would you be upset if I were pregnant?
Upset? Are you crazy? It'd be terrific. And we both want to have kids. You do want to have a kid, don't you?
Well, eventually.
You're pregnant, honey. You're 35 years old. Eventually, it's just around the corner. You do want to have a kid, don't you?
Well, of course I do.
For a minute there, I thought I'd screwed up and married a woman who didn't want kids. No, that was Cynthia Hackney. I distinctly remember. She had a great Dane. She wanted a monkey. No kids. Now you, on the other hand, Alice, the one who wanted kids. That's why I married you. It all comes back to me now. Alice, for God's sakes, why would I be upset if you were pregnant?
Well, we wouldn't have planned it.
I promise you, if you're pregnant, you'll start planning right away.
Good, that's another giant step forward for Planned Parenthood.
Then you're pregnant.
I didn't say that.
Let's just pretend you're pregnant. Now, there are certain things we will have to plan. I mean, I know you want to keep working, so we'll get a nurse or a housekeeper. Nothing will change, Alice, except we'll have a baby. And a housekeeper.
And my father, a few minor changes.
Alice, are you pregnant, yes or no?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Probably.
You're probably pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
You are?
Well, I don't know for sure, but women knows these things. I'm pregnant.
Alice, when will you know for sure?
It's clocked.
Sick dance.
Are you pregnant?
Dr. Porter said he'd call me at 6 o'clock. I went to see him this afternoon.
I wondered where you were this afternoon.
Well, I knew I should have told you, but I knew you'd be excited about the whole thing. And, well, I couldn't deal with you being so excited. Well, I was so confused. And, oh, Jerry, do you love me?
Oh, Alice, what kind of question is that to ask the father of your child? Of course I love you, and we're going to have a wonderful baby.
Oh, and an eccentric old man.
And we'll all live together in a crooked little house.
Happily ever after?
I promise.
I'm a lawyer. I can sue you for breach of promise.
Better yet, I guarantee it. You can sue me for breach of guarantee.
WCNW plays the country hits you all want to hear. Hello? Ah, they hung up.
Damn it, they do that every time you do that. They think it's the wrong number. Please, I'm expecting a very important call.
Well, I too am expecting a very important call from Big Tex Winslow. I thought that was my important phone call.
Well, it's not. If that phone rings again, don't you dare touch it because it's going to be my turn. Hello?
That's
Hello?
WCNW
Yes,
plays the...
hello, Dr. Porter.
22nd. And a healthy, happy baby.
March 22nd.
Houston, the new baby, the new papa, the new mamacita linda, and the new grandpapa, Senor Dreyfus. Dry, dry, dry. Very dry, but good. Hey, what you going to call a new baby anyway?
Well, I haven't even thought about it yet.
How about Pepe?
How about Louise? My wife's name was Louise.
My wife is named Isabella.
Yes, well, we'll keep that in mind.
But right now, you got plenty of time to think about it. I gotta go to the bathroom. The champagne goes right through me. Congratulations.
74.50.
Come on, I'm gonna make dinner. Will you help with the salad?
Sure.
Daddy, would you do me a favor?
It's hard for me to say no to a pregnant lady. What can I do?
Well, I was thinking of fixing up a bedroom for the baby.
You're just like your mother. She's pregnant 5 minutes and already in nesting.
I was thinking the baby should have a bedroom next to ours.
Well, that's my room.
Don't you agree, Jerry?
Makes sense to me.
Would you mind moving into the guest room?
What, the little room?
Oh, it's not little, it's cute. Besides, it's separating more from the baby. You'll get some privacy.
Maybe I should just move out altogether before the baby is born.
Daddy, I thought we decided you would stay.
Well, what do you need her to have an old man around here for anyway?
Oh, I'm not just looking for any old man. I'm looking for a very particular one. One that capped my teeth and bought my prom dress. I've got a sheet of cards and talked me into going to law school over double shifts to pay my way through.
But so now you're going to hold all that over my head, are you?
You want the job, old man?
Did I ever tell you you was a lot like your mother?
Then you move into the cute little room.
Will you move the TV set?
Well, of course we'll move the TV set.
Will it fit in that little room?
We'll get a crowbar.
Then it's settled. I'll move into that tiny, cute, cozy little guest room with the television set squeezed in the corner. I'll pack tonight.
Done.
Chiseled in stone. WCMW plays the country hit you all want to hear. Hello? Ah, they hung up. Maybe we better get in his own phone. What, in that little room? Well, maybe a wall phone.
Hey, was it the doctor again? Did he say anything?
No, it definitely wasn't the doctor, I can tell you that. It sounded more like a woman crying.
A woman crying? Jerry, what woman would be crying?
Listen, Alice, you'd be crying too if you picked up the phone and said hello and missed out $1,180. Anyway, if it's important, they'll call back.
Crying is important. Jerry.
Hello?
Hello, Jerry.
It's my mother. Mom, why are you crying?
My house is on fire.
Well, quick, don't call me. Call the fire department.
I did call the fire department. They're washing down the ashes. I have no house but clean ashes.
It burned to the ground?
It started on the ground. It burned to the roof.
Burned to the ground.
Everything went up in flames. My beautiful diamond is gone.
Steinway? Our good Steinway?
No, darling, I rented a bad one, special for the fire.
Oh, Mom, that's the piano I grew up with.
Well, would you care to inquire about the money you grew up with, Jerry?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. Are you okay?
Yes, but a little fuzzy for the death. I feel very guilty.
Oh, Mom, I'm sorry. Your parakeet?
My little parakeet Peter fried to a crisp.
Oh, Mom. She's okay, but her parakeet died. Mom, how did the fire start?
Jerry, if I wanted to talk about the fire, I'd sit here and I'd talk to the fire chief. I have no place to live, so I called my son.
Hold on. She has no place to live.
Well, I guess you could move in here for a while.
Oh, no!
Mom, why don't you move in here, temporarily?
I was hoping you'd offer. Could I ask the nature of the phrase temporarily? The house isn't going to grow back, you know.
Oh, Mom, you can rebuild. You're insured, aren't you?
I'm insured for the full purchase price.
Oh, good. She's covered.
We purchased it in 1947.
She's not covered. Mom, why don't you move in here for the time being? You can move into the baby's room.
That's my room!
Did you have a baby? When did you have a baby?
Well, we're going to have a baby. We just found out tonight. I was going to call you.
Oh, congratulations. I can't believe it. A baby. Oh, Jerry,
plane you're on, we'll come and pick you up at the airport.
Oh, Jerry, I knew I could count on you.
Okay, well, we'll see you tomorrow then. Now, you get it together, okay, Mom?
Okay. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, Mom. Abe,
I heard.
did you hear it was only temporary?
Did I trouble you to define temporary?
I don't know, a couple of weeks, a month. I mean, whatever it takes to get her back on her feet. I couldn't exactly throw her out in the cold.
It's the middle of July.
Abe, Dreyfus, you have no right to be so unreasonable. And you, Jerry, don't apologize. You did the right thing.
Could I? Do you mean to tell me that this woman is moving into my room, excuse me, the baby's room, the room which I just so generously volunteered to vacate?
Yes, I'd rather you move now to the room that you're going to live in permanently. Let Mildred have the baby's room, please.
I can't believe it. Mildred the Ripper is taking over my room.
Daddy, have a little compassion. The woman's house just burned down. She has no place to go.
Speaking of places to go, I suppose I'll have to share the toilet with her.
You suppose, right?
Well, then I guess I just better get up there and use it now before she moves in and tries to take it over.
I think Hector's in the bathroom.
Ah, the hell with it then, I'll mow the lawn.
What, are you crazy in your condition?
You put me under the same roof with a woman that tried to murder me with a butcher knife and you're worried about my condition? Do me a favor. Don't worry. I assure you, I will be fine. If you get my gist.
Very good.
You're giving me the 4 of diamonds?
Well, let me see it so. Yes, now there it is. 4 little red boxes standing on their pointy ends. That's it, the 4 of diamonds. Who says you're getting senile?
Gin.
Gin? What, gin already?
It was a bad play. You knew I was saving diamonds.
I knew. I'll tell you what I knew. I knew we should have played pinochle today. That's what I knew.
Today's Tuesday. Thursdays we play pinochle.
Wasserman, have you got no adventure in that pharmacist's soul of yours? Did you never secretly yearn to play a little pinochle on Tuesday?
You're playing so lousy this afternoon. What's the difference whether we play gin rummy or pinochle?
I cheat better at pinochle.
What's bothering you today, Dreyfus? Is it that your daughter is pregnant?
My daughter is married. Why should it bother me that she's pregnant?
Well, something is bothering you.
Well, I guess I'm just not my old self today. Who knows?
Maybe you should take a laxative.
Once a pharmacist, always a pharmacist. Eh, Saul? WCNW plays the country hits you all want to hear.
Hey, it's me, Jerry. Did anybody call?
Yeah, somebody did, Jerry, but they hung up.
Listen, my mother told me to pick her up at JFK. Apparently there was some mix-up and her plane landed in Newark about an hour ago. I had her paid and told her to take a taxi over to Arba.
That's nice.
Look, we're almost home. We're at the gas station on the Connecticut state line, but she'll probably get there ahead of us. Now, I know it isn't easy, but please be nice to her.
Oh, Jerry, I'll welcome her with open arms.
Abe,
Listen, on the way home, why don't you pick up a cake? I'll have the cake cutter ready.
Abe,
Better yet, the minute she walks through the door, I'll show her the silverware drawer.
please, Abe, give me a break.
Jerry, by the time you get home, she'll be armed to the teeth.
Abe, I'm hot, I'm tired, please.
I will do my best to be charming and gracious to her.
Just don't kill each other. Alice and I'll be home soon.
Who's coming?
Jerry's mother.
I think I see what's bothering you.
They are giving her my room.
It's their house.
It's their house. It's my room.
She's staying long?
Her house burned down.
She's staying long. Maybe she's a nice person.
That's the trouble with you, Wasserman. You're always trying to find some good in something.
Still, she could be a nice person.
I met her.
And?
Do you remember in that movie, The Wizard of Oz, there was a wicked witch?
Yes.
She's not that nice.
Her husband, when did he die?
He didn't die.
She's a divorcee.
No.
Not a widow, not a divorcee. What's left?
You want to know what's left, Saul? I'll tell you what's left. One night about 30 years ago, he said, I'm going out that door. She said, what, you going out for cigarettes? He said, no, I'm going out that door and I'm never coming back.
So?
So he went out the door and he never came back.
But what about his clothes? His things?
You are so practical. He probably bought new clothes, new things.
But how does she support herself? How does she eat?
Well, she's a piano teacher, and she probably eats with a fork. Who cares?
Okay, so her husband left her. Does that make her a bad person?
The point is, so she already was a bad person. That's why he left her. Now, do you want to hear something else? At Alice and Jerry's wedding, she came after me with a knife.
A knife?
A knife, Wasserman, a knife!
What could happen that would make her lift a knife to you?
Nothing happened. I said one thing to her, one little thing.
Yes? What did you say to her?
I have to answer the door.
She took a knife to you because you said, I have to answer the door?
No. Good afternoon, Mrs. Sloan.
Mr. Dreyfus,
One and the same.
what are you doing here?
I live here.
You're staying with Jerry and Alice?
I live here.
Jerry didn't tell me you were visiting with them.
I live here. Not visiting. Living.
How long are you staying?
Well, that depends on how long I live. You know, if I drop dead this afternoon, I'm sure they will help me out by 5 or 6, 7 at the latest. How long are you staying?
We didn't discuss it.
While you're in the baby's room and the baby's due in March.
How do you do? I'm Mildred Sloan.
Saul Wasserman, nice to meet you.
You live here too.
No, I'm just visiting.
How long are you staying?
I'm not staying. I live down the street. I just came to play some cards. I was just leaving.
Saul, where are you going? Stay business. Mrs. Sloan here, let me take your, luggage. Charming, don't you think? Oh, let me take your wrap.
Very funny, Mr. Dreyfus.
Oh, excuse me. Could I take your gorilla?
It's a monkey. It's for the baby.
Oh, yes, the baby. Well, now, the baby isn't due for another 8 months, so should I take it, or, would you like to carry it around until then?
I'd forgotten just how funny you are. I'll put it over here if that's all right with you.
All right with me. This is Alice and Jerry's house. I only live here.
I think I'd better be leaving. Goodbye, Mrs. Sloan. It was a pleasure to meet you. Goodbye, Dreyfus. We'll see you Thursday for pinochle.
Of course, same as always. My life isn't changing, Saul. Same as always. If you get my gist. A wonderful man.
I'm sure.
Devoted husband.
That's nice.
You know, even when he only comes over for a few hands of cards, he calls his wife Mildred, or his wife Esther, 3, 4 times. I guess some men just can't leave their wives, even for a few moments. But then, who would leave such a wonderful woman as Esther Wasserman? So how was your flight from Buffalo?
Rochester.
Well, Buffalo, Rochester. I'm a city person. To me, New York is 5 boroughs, and I haven't got much use for Staten Island or the Bronx. So how was your flight from Rochester?
It was terrible.
I would love to hear about it.
Well, for one thing, we landed in Newark instead of JFK.
Did they say why?
They gave several reasons, but none to my satisfaction.
Maybe they tried to hijack the plane and they wanted to keep it a secret.
Hijacked to Newark, New Jersey.
Excellent.
Is it?
You know, Wasserman. Wasserman makes every time he comes over. Wasserman makes a full pot every time he comes over. You remember Wasserman, don't you? A nice man lives down the street. Every time he comes over for cards, he makes a full pot. I can never make it like Wasserman does. You know, I use the same water, the same pot, the same coffee. But I don't know, that man you like a little something to go with your coffee? The specialty of the house is tuna surprise.
Well, as a matter of fact, I am a little hungry.
Good, I'm sure Jerry has a can of it around here somewhere.
Please, don't go to any trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all.
Crackers will be fine.
But sweet or salty?
I beg your pardon?
Sweet crackers or salty crackers? Am I going too fast for you?
Sweet crackers.
We only have salty.
Oh, how apropos. Salty will be fine.
Good. Should have poured your coffee a minute ago. I don't have to. Enjoy yourself.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't what amazing?
Well, I had a dream last night, and suddenly it all comes clear to
Oh,
me.
you're a dreamer, are you?
I dreamt I was walking through the forest when I came to a field.
Fascinating.
And in the middle of the field was a horse. But as I got closer, I could see only the horse's head and its front legs were there. The rest was missing. And I wondered, whatever became of the back end of that horse? And now I know.
You didn't touch your crackers.
What was that?
You mean that noise that sounded like a toilet flushing?
Yes, what was that?
The toilet flushing.
I know that. What I don't know is who flushed.
Oh, that's Hector. He's a Puerto Rican fella.
What's he doing upstairs flushing the toilet?
Well, he used it. Now, no matter what you might think of the Puerto Ricans, they flush.
I mean, what's he doing upstairs? Does he live here too?
No, Jerry just pays him to use the toilet.
Oh, Mr. Sloan.
Hector!
I'm going to
Hector!
move the,
I'd like you to meet Mrs. Sloan, Jerry's mother.
Hector Lopez. It's my pleasure to meet you.
How do you do?
As I was saying, Mr. Dreyfus, I'm going to move.
No, Hector. Now, let's not talk about your movements in front of everyone. Let's go outside and discuss it in private.
Hector, dear, what is it you're planning to move?
Don't tell her.
Hector, what are you planning to move?
None of her business. Don't say anything.
Hector, who pays you to work here?
Oh, Mr. Sloan.
Well, I'm Mr. Sloan's mother, and I'm sure he won't mind if you tell me what it is you're planning to move.
Well, I'm Mr. Sloan's father-in-law. Don't say anything.
And I'm his mother by blood.
Please, Mr. Dreyfus, I don't think it's such a big deal to tell her, right?
Right. Hector, what is it you're planning to move?
The TV set. Mr. Sloan told me to move the TV set from the new baby's room to Mr. Dreyfus' new room.
You're moving the TV set from my room?
It's my TV set. He's moving it from my old room to my new room. If you want a TV set, go on out and buy one.
What kind of TV set is it, Hector?
Oh, it's a 19-inch color Sony. Very nice.
Isn't that a coincidence? That's the television set I bought Jerry and Alice when they got married.
No kidding! You bought them a new color Sony? Oh, when I got married, my mother, she bought us a crucifix to hang on the bedroom wall. Oh, it's very beautiful, but you cannot watch it all night.
Well, seeing as how I already bought one, you might as well just leave it where it is.
You bought it, you gave it away, and now Alice and Jerry gave it to me.
I distinctly remember telling them that when they were finished with it, I wanted it back.
A likely story. Move the TV set,
You
Hector.
leave it.
Enough is enough. Move it.
Don't you dare.
Gee, Mr. Sloan, I cannot move the TV set now.
What, you're siding with her now?
Oh, no. I got cramps. I got to go to the bathroom. You two decide and I'll be back in a minute. But don't try to move it by yourself. Not in your condition.
You have a condition.
Who wants to know? Yes, I have a condition. It's very rare. And the only known cure for it is massive doses of television programming. 3 times a day.
Then I guess you're going to die.
You're a funny woman, Mrs. Sloan.
Well, it's part of my charm. Ordinarily, it drives men wild.
Really? I heard out.
You sound worried.
Me worried? Don't worry, I'm not worried. No one's moving me out. I live here.
Pleased to meet you. So do I.
You're just visiting.
Listen, mister, my house burned down. I've got no
Don't you not listen to me?
Not the wind sounds more like hot air.
Listen, not listening is a violation of the first rule of arguing.
Perhaps it's another monkey.
Will you stop talking to that monkey and fight it out like a man?
Actually, sounds more like a baboon.
Don't you call me a baboon?
Then stop acting like one!
Well, how did your house burn down?
It's a long story.
I have all the time in the world. I'm not going anywhere, you know, not me.
Why do you want to know how my house burned down?
Because when you're under the same roof as someone who is prone to house burning, your sense of self-preservation takes over.
Then you admit we're living under the same roof.
As I heard Jerry saying just the other day, temporarily.
Well, temporarily can be a long, long time.
I am a survivor.
So am I, Mr. Dreyfus. So am I. Chicken soup.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you asked how my house burned down. Chicken soup.
Oh, yes, yes! A major cause of so many fires. Why, you know, just the other day, Smokey the Bear was
I
saying...
told you it was a long story.
I'm all ears.
Mouth maybe, ears I find hard to believe. Anyway, I was cooking a pot of soup.
Chicken soup.
You've heard the story before.
Go on.
I was cooking a pot of chicken soup when the phone rang. It was my friend, Mrs. Myerson. Her husband, Mr. Myerson, had an accident.
But what happened to him?
He slipped on the ice and hurt his back.
In the middle of July? You're lucky I'm not from the insurance company, Mrs. Sloan.
He slipped on the ice in December. If you'd stop interrupting, you would know. He slipped on the ice in December, and now in July, his back was acting up again. Anyway, he asked his wife to go to the pharmacy to pick up his prescription for painkillers. But as their car was in the shop, a garbage truck dented its fender. At least that was what Mrs. Myerson says.
And I suppose you don't believe...
A little photomat loose in the shopping center.
Go on.
Was I? Yes, she asked me to drive her to the pharmacy to pick up the prescription.
Wait a minute. Now, you're telling me that the drugstore doesn't deliver?
The boy was sick.
Oh.
And me, I left the coupons on the table.
What coupon?
You know the coupons from the newspaper? You clip out 8 cents off Brillo, 10 cents off Downy Fabric Softener. You know, coupons.
Coupon.
Anyway, to make a long story short,
It's a little late for that.
the fan, according to
What fan?
the little fan that was on the kitchen counter from Sears and Roebuck, it blew the coupons from the table into the fire that was under the chicken soup. My whole house burned up. I lost everything, and my little budgie bird died.
I reckon Alice and Jerry should be home pretty soon.
That's it.
That's what?
You ask me how my house burned down, I tell you the whole story, and when I'm done, you look at your watch and poof, you change the subject.
Well, I didn't poof change the subject. The story was over. You said so yourself.
My side of the story was over.
Oh, I see. I suppose I have a side to this story.
You could say something.
Well, what would you like me to say?
I don't know. I'm sorry your house burned down, Mrs. Sloan. I'm sorry your little Petey bird died in the fire, Mrs. Sloan.
Tell me, Mrs. Sloan, when you were cooking that soup, did you feel bad for the chicken?
Only you would compare a pet parakeet to a soup chicken.
Ah, the Lord works in mysterious ways, Mrs. Sloan. An eye for an
I
eye.
thought I was talking to a normal
A wing
person.
for a wing.
I should have known better.
A bird for a bird. Listen, the next time your house burns down, I won't ask. I was only making small talk.
Small talk. Listen, mister, if you think a house going up in flames is small talk, it's the biggest talk of my life. Why, if you want small talk, talk about the weather.
You think the rain will hurt the rhubarb?
Mr. Dreyfus, can I be frank with you?
By all means.
You are, without a doubt, the most miserable son of a bitch I've ever met.
Sticks and stones, Mrs. Sloan.
I didn't like you at the wedding, and I certainly
nice senior citizens home. Fireproofed.
Listen, Buster, if you think you can drive me out by being insulting, obnoxious, and condescending, you've got another thing coming. I'm staying!
Spite me, that's why. You stay where you're not welcome, just to spite me. That's the kind of person that you are.
Listen, Bucko, I'm staying. I'm staying here if it kills
What
me!
the hell is going on here?
Stay out of it, Jerry!
Mom, let me talk.
You can't talk to her. She is nothing but
Mom!
never mind, Alice.
What is this about?
You want to know what this is about? I'll tell you what this is about. This is about a man who has no consideration, who insults my intelligence,
She wasn't here 5 minutes and she commandeered my television
and
set.
who has no basic human decency. But look at me! I've lost everything. I lost my house. I lost the clothes off my back. I lost my bird.
Madam,
Daddy, I know what you're going to say, and don't. It's not worth it.
listen, Alice, don't tell me what it's worth. I'm 72 years old, and a straight line like that coming from a person like this may never come again. So, madam,
Daddy, please, I ask you.
Alice, if God were to come down here right now, right this instant, and promise me just one more opportunity like this ever in my entire lifetime, I would be glad to accommodate you. Well done. Sorry, Alice. Madam, it has become apparent to me, to look at you, one would never know that you are a woman who has lost your house. One would never know that you had lost your furnishings, your belongings, and all your possessions. But it has become very apparent to me, ever since you have been here, that you, madam, have lost your frigging
That does it! I'll get you, you son.
Hey, trees! Now, I don't know when the parents became the kids around here, but if that's the way you're going to act, that's the way we're going to treat you.
If you're both going to live under this roof, you're both going to have to learn to live by our rules.
That's right. We're going to sit you down and write rules to live under the same roof by, if that's what it takes.
This,
And if that doesn't work, we'll lock you both in your rooms on alternate days.
this is not a freshman dormitory.
Right.
This is a civilized home in suburban Connecticut.
Right.
And if you're both going to have to start behaving, now you're both going to have to start to learn to behave like civilized Connecticuters.
Connecticuters?
Whatever. Anyway, just behave yourselves. Daddy, I want you to go over to Mildred right now and shake her hand and welcome her to her new home.
you.
I am dead serious. Mildred, you meet him halfway.
Jerry!
Do it, Mom. We're not kidding.
I was willing to meet him halfway when he got here, but
Do it!
You too.
Oh, I'm going. Blowing out your ear, bird lady!
Up the stairs, John? Am I heading up to the bed? It's not bad at all. So you're finally writing a show tune.
Jingle.
Freedom is a jingle? What, you mean we now need a jingle for our inalienable rights?
About tampons.
Oh, God, Jerry. Now listen, I know you have to make a living, and I can understand you writing songs about garbage bags and underarm sprays, and even toilet bowl cleaners, but
Tampon?
Thank you, Alice. We all know the word. Jerry, where do you draw the line?
excuse me for interfering, Jerry.
Rule number 12, Mom. When it's between him and me, you stay out of it.
There should be exceptions to Rule 12.
No breaking the rules.
I wasn't going to break it, just bend it, maybe.
I think I'll open a bottle of wine for dinner. What'll it be? Red or white?
Red.
White.
White's fine with me. Go for the white.
Just wait a minute. If white's fine with her, then she wanted white all along.
What's the difference? You wanted white.
Now I'm not so sure. I need a minute to think.
Stop thinking. We're having steaks. Open a red.
Sounds fine with me.
Good, that's what I asked for in the first place. I finally caught you. Every day for a month now, the pictures have been crooked around this house, and I finally caught you red-handed.
My dear woman, me? Tilt pictures? Surely you must realize that I have been
excuse me while I go to my room and plan my revenge.
Daddy, Rule 14, no revenge.
Rules were made to be broken, especially Rule 14.
Daddy! Oh, Jerry, this is not the thought. Tonight is definitely the night.
Alice, how are we gonna break the news?
Oh, what does it matter? No matter what we say, they're both going to have an excuse, especially my father. Why don't we just wing it?
Oh, no, I think we should know how we're gonna do this.
Why don't I cry and you beg?
Why don't we try a dry run?
What do you mean?
Well, like rehearse, get the feel of what we're trying to do, so it'll be easier when we do it for real.
Think so?
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. Look, you be you. And I'll be Abe.
Okay. Hey! No. Daddy? These past few months have been unbearable. When Mildred first got here, I thought I could deal with it, but now...
Sure, you thought she was only temporary. You didn't know her insurance would be peanuts and she'd move in. Lock, stock, and big mouth.
Oh, Daddy, it's the both of you. The constant bickering has gotten out of hand. We just can't go on living like this anymore, so Jerry and I have come up with a solution.
God, Jerry. You know, I never give him enough credit. But he's such a nice boy. Good looking, too.
Jerry, please.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Anyway, so, you and Jerry have a solution, do you? Is this another one of your cockamamie deals like the Labor Day Treaty?
The Labor Day Treaty was a failure because you broke it.
Me? It was her. She bit me. Look, I still have the mark.
She bit you because you hit her false teeth when she found them. Then she bit you. Whose fault is that?
Hers.
All right, I'll give you that one. But ever since then, it's been one constant argument after another.
Now listen, as I used to say to your mother, may she rest in peace. A little arguing's good for your health. Don't you snap your fingers at me, young lady.
Very good, Jerry. Now can you do bogey?
We were just,
You were not just anything. You were practicing to get rid of me. Now listen, I may be old, but I'm not senile. I know that there are 3 bedrooms in this house. One is the master bedroom. You 2 live in there. And the other bedroom has brand new wallpaper with little baby bunnies all over it. In a few weeks, the baby will live in there. That leaves one tiny little guest room and 2 guests. Something has got to give.
Daddy, even if we had 40 bedrooms, I don't think we want to raise our baby in a house where 2 grown people are constantly picking at one another.
Oh, I
Live
see.
healthy.
I see. So I'm bad for the baby's health.
Jerry.
Abe, we were gonna broach this subject with you this evening.
Why wait till this evening, Jerry? Go ahead, broach away.
Well, Abe, as you know, the living arrangements around here, well, especially the 4 of us living together, well, they haven't been that easy to say the least.
What are they voting friend statement of the year?
Look, Alice and I have talked this over, and the way we see it, there's 3 options. Option 1, you move out. Option 2, my mother moves out. Option 3, Alice and I move out.
I opt for option number 2.
We kind of figured you would, but could we talk about option 1 for a minute?
Option number 2 makes more sense. Now, in the first place, Alice, that woman is living in the baby's room. She could move out, the baby could move in, there'd be no fuss, no commotion, no hubbub. Alice, the last thing a new baby needs is hubbub.
Could we get back to option number 1?
Secondly, who was here first? May I remind you, yours truly. And don't forget why I moved in here. I am a man with a serious heart condition. You start throwing me around like a hot potato and bingo, it's over.
You know, Abe, this is the first time you ever admitted you had a heart condition.
I didn't want you to worry.
Oh, but now that you can use it to make us feel guilty, you admit to having a heart condition.
A heart condition. Alice, I have the worst kind of heart condition. They did a program once on 60 Minutes. And do you know where they send people with the absolutely worst heart conditions?
I give up.
Chinaman doctors. It's what is known in the medical profession as giving a patient a Chinaman's chance.
Daddy, we are trying to have a serious discussion here.
You are trying to have a serious discussion about option number 1. If you will check the ballot box, you will see that I did not vote for option number 1. I voted for option 2.
Abe, Alice and I have rented an apartment over on Westover Drive, just a few miles from here. It's furnished, it's very nice.
It's very nice. They have a game room and ping pong.
I hate ping pong. It's not my game.
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard. They have shuffleboard.
Yeah, 4 courts. You like shuffleboard?
I hate shuffleboard. I broke my toe once playing shuffleboard.
Well, you don't have to play. I mean,
I am very happy not playing shuffleboard here. What, you want me to move someplace else to not play shuffleboard?
Daddy, Jerry and I have rented a furnished one-bedroom apartment over there. It starts the 1st of next month.
And you want me to move in there?
Would you?
Do I have a choice?
Yes, we said this was a discussion. We haven't decided one way or the other. We just know that one of you has to go.
And you want me to move?
Well, it would be kind of handy if you did, but, we would ask Mildred if you said no.
That sounds good to me. No.
Sorry, it's... Okay, I'm trying to dig a note out. Daddy, the reason we asked you first is because we thought that perhaps you might, even like the idea. You'd have your privacy, and you wouldn't have to put up with the baby crying night and day.
Baby, eh? I love babies. I can take the baby to Wasserman and I take him for a walk in the park. I'll teach him how to drive a car. What, you're comparing shuffleboard to a newborn baby? Believe me, I'll take a baby any day of the week.
Look, Daddy, would you do me a favor? Would you think it over? It's not as bad as it sounds.
All right. I will think about it. Now, will you do me a favor?
What?
Would you discuss option 2 with the party of the second part?
Yes.
You want me to go get her?
no way. I'll get her. I want you to go to your room and think about this very seriously.
That's a wonderful idea. That's a great room for having a serious thought. I love that little room. If you get my gist.
We get your gist. I'll call you for dinner.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I love a family dinner. I really hate eating alone.
Love
See
that
you later.
little room. Hate eating alone. I take it that subtlety was never one of your father's strong suits.
Jerry, for my father, that was subtlety. So what do we do now?
Well, I guess we'll have to discuss it with the party of the second part.
Oh, it doesn't matter, because whoever ends up here is going to think that there's a winner.
Why don't we take the apartment?
Oh, Jerry, be serious. We've got 3 weeks to make a decision.
Were you talking about me?
No, what makes you think we're talking about you?
Well, you quit talking when I walked in the room. You were either talking about me or you were talking dirty. Were you talking dirty?
Of course not.
Then you were talking about me.
Well, Mom, we weren't talking about you, but what we were talking about does concern you.
Same difference. Well,
Mom, Alice and I have been talking this over, and the way we see it, there's 3 options.
Well, Jerry, I don't think the options worked out so well for us the last time. Why don't you just get straight to the point?
Right. Here's the point, Mom. Alice and I have rented a furnished apartment over on Westover Drive. It has a swimming pool. It's very nice.
wonderful. When does he move in?
Well, he doesn't want to move in, Mom. He wants us to talk to you about the possibility of moving in.
He's staying here and he wants me to move into the apartment.
But it's very nice. It has a swimming pool and...
He's staying here and he wants me to... Over my dead body.
Oh, Jerry, I can't take much more of this. I'm tired. I don't feel well. I'm gonna have a
Mom, if you want, Roots, move in with Aunt Shirley.
Shirley? Now you're wishing me on to Shirley. Alice, do you know that that woman, she never sweeps or cleans? She doesn't even own a vacuum cleaner. And heaven forbid I should clean up the sink or scour out the coffee pot so it should be clean.
Mom, it's not nearly like that. It's just that you're so compulsively clean.
I'm not the compulsive one. Shirley's the compulsive one. She's compulsively dirty. Why, ever since she was a little girl,
You all right?
I'm not sure.
she's in labor.
Oh, no. It's just a Braxton Hicks contraction.
A what? A what? What?
A Braxton Hicks contraction. It's a mild contraction a lot of women have during their 9th month. I've been having them on and off all afternoon. It's perfectly normal.
That was a mild contraction.
Well, maybe that one did have a little extra kick to it.
She's right.
Listen, sweetie, when I was in labor, when I was pregnant, we didn't have fancy names for labor pains. When you grabbed your back there, that did look like back labor to me. Why, trust me, Jerry, she's in labor.
But I'm not due for 3 weeks.
Well, what are you gonna do? Sit there with your legs crossed for 3 weeks? Trust me, she's in labor.
I'm calling Dr. Porter. Alice, is it okay if I call Dr. Porter?
Wait a minute, I'm not due for 3 weeks. What if it's not real labor? I'm gonna be embarrassed.
Alice, we're paying the man a small fortune. If it's false, it's false. Now, I'm calling. I won't be embarrassed.
Well, wait a minute. You don't call on one contraction.
Well, you said you've been feeling this way all afternoon.
I know, but he's gonna want to know how long between contractions. Let's just wait.
Well, how long has it been since the last one?
I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes? Why don't we say 2 and be on the safe side?
Why don't we? Go ahead, honey, I'm timing.
I know, we're just picking it up where he screwed it up. I just can't make them happen. I have to wait for it.
I know.
Come in.
No. Shut up. Thinking. Yes, it's a timing thing! Ah! Keep dinging it. I'll say it. Trust me, this is one I won't forget. Honey, would you get the door? I'm busy and Mildred's timing.
Buenas tardes, Mr. Sloan. She's gonna snow like a bandit.
Oh, no, honey, it's snowing.
Well, buenas tardes, Mrs. Sloan. I just tell Mr. Sloan she's gonna snow like a bandit.
Hector, don't bother Mrs. Sloan. Can't you see she's in labor?
Now?
Now.
Now?
No, not now for you. Now for him. I'm in labor now, but nothing's happening.
Gee, Mrs. Sloan, when my wife, she always had her labor in the labor room at the hospital. It's expensive, but much better. They have all kinds of doctors and nurses there. You should really go to the hospital.
I am going to go to the hospital.
Which hospital are you going to?
Well, I don't know when I'm going to go to the hospital. I'll tell you which one I'm going to later, but right now we're just sitting around waiting for the next contraction.
Oh.
Now,
Which hospital are you going to?
I'm going to New York City Hospital.
In New York City?
No, Toledo, for heaven's sakes, Alice, you shouldn't have to listen to anyone's silly questions.
Oh, it's all right, honest.
It's just that if you're going to drive to New York City tonight, I think you should leave right away. The snow, she's gonna come down like crazy.
That's it. I'm not waiting for any contractions. I'm calling Dr. Porter. Where's his number?
It's in my little phone book in the purse by the phone.
You should always write down the number of the doctor. I remember one time my sister, she had this terrible rash, very bad.
What?
A rash. You know, her skin got all red. She broke out in a rash.
Oh, a rat.
You got it.
Alice, Dr. Porter isn't in this damn phone book.
Well, what are you doing? Are you looking at her P for Porter or D for doctor?
D, is the other P?
It's under G. What? For gynecology.
Oh, I don't believe it.
I don't think this is a good time for me to tell you about my sister's rash.
I think you're right.
Alice, nothing is in the right place in this phone book.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Jerry, it's my personal address book.
Who the hell's Derek?
What letter is he under?
G, right here with Dr. Porter.
Oh, that's the grocery store. Derek's the delivery boy. He's only 14. Are you jealous?
I'm jealous of anyone named Derek, especially if he's in my wife's address book. Now, hang on. You be quiet. I'm going to dial Dr. Porter.
Well, what are you going to tell him?
Well, I'm going to tell him that my wife's in labor and that she's going to snow like a bandit, and if we don't get there soon, we're going to have the baby on the Hutchinson River Parkway.
Oh, no, don't take the hutch, Mr. Sloan. The I-95 is much better.
Hector, what are you doing here anyway?
I came to borrow the car.
What? Oh, hello? Is Dr. Porter there? This is Mr. Sloan. My wife is one of his patients. Alice. Yeah, Alice Sloan. Yeah, I'll hold. It's a miracle he's still in the office.
Well, you can't play golf in the snow.
Hector, you can't borrow the car. It's out of the question.
Hello,
Oh, I don't have to jump the battery in my car, Mr. Sloan. We can drive to my house. It'll only take a minute. I got kids.
Well, Jesus, we gotta go to the hospital. We can't go around jump-starting cars. I mean, why don't you call AAA or something? Hello? Oh, Dr. Porter. Yes, I'll put her on. I am Tom. Honey, it's for you, Dr. Derek.
Hello? Well, yes, I thought I was having gas all afternoon, but then just a while ago I had this real doozy of a contraction. I felt it in my back and everything. What? Oh, I don't know. How many minutes, Mildred?
Approximately 6.
About 6. Well, we actually have a time and space between contractions, because right after the first big one, Hector, our handyman, came over, and he wanted to borrow the car, and we found out that it was snowing, and then my husband got upset. Huh? Oh, okay. He's gonna go look out the window.
Tell him he can call the weather after he hangs up. Doesn't he know that you're gonna have a...
Hello? Oh, it's snowing in New York, too. Well, that's why we didn't want a time and space between contractions. We wanted to get going before the snow got too heavy. And what? Oh, okay. He's putting his nurse back on.
What? His nurse? What's he putting his nurse on for? For the money we're paying, we should be getting the chief and staff of the New York State Hospital. What the hell is he putting his nurse on for?
He wants to know what time it is between contractions, Jerry. Doctors don't hold, nurses hold. Oh, hello, Joanne. Yeah, this is Alex. Do you mind if I talk to my family while we're waiting? Okay, thanks. Don't you think you should pack?
Me? You're the one going to the hospital.
I packed a week ago, but if we get snowbound in New York, you're going to need some clean clothes.
What do I do when it's stuck in New York? Stay at Brian and Sharon's place. I've got a meeting, 2 meetings. Wednesday, Thursday, I need some clothes. I'll be right down. I'll be right down.
Oh, honey, could you get my suitcase? It's in my... Oh, here it comes, Joanne.
Hello, Joanne. This is Mrs. Sloane's mother-in-law. I'm the official timekeeper. 7.5 minutes. Go home.
Alice, where am I found over the gas socks?
She can't talk now. She's breathing. Yes, she'll be right with you, doctor. She's breathing. Can you hear that?
Keep breathing. I'll be right down. I won't wear socks.
Ooh, whew. Oh, my goodness. That was no Braxton Hicks, Dr. Porter. That was the real thing. Right. We're leaving right away. Just as soon as my husband finishes packing.
Mrs. Sloan, por favor.
Oh, yes, and we have to jumpstart a friend's car. It won't take very long. Yeah, right. I'll meet you at the hospital. Thanks. Bye.
What did the doctor say?
He said we better get going before the snow got too heavy.
Closet?
He said that 5 minutes ago. We were out of here
Gee,
in my car.
I could have said that 5 minutes ago. Here, now we've wasted all that time. We could have jump-started my car already. She's going hot, ding dong, with
Daddy, I'm the one that's moving out. I'm going to the hospital to have the baby.
You mean I was in my room for 3 months?
I'm early.
You were early, now you're late. I'm gonna go start the car.
Oh, Mr. Sloan, mine too, please.
Oh,
Mr.
come on,
Sloan.
Hector, grab a bag.
Be sure to call us from the hospital.
Before you go, did you discuss you-know-what with you-know-who?
Haven't settled anything. We'll settle it all when I get back from the hospital. Now, Daddy, Mildred, I want you to promise me one thing. No arguing and no bickering while I'm in the hospital. Please, it's very important to me for the baby. Come on now, promise.
I promise. Good luck.
Daddy, I can't go until you promise.
Scout's honor.
Now, freeze to the steaks. Make dinner for yourselves. I love you both.
I love you too.
Good.
Right into scene two.
It's 11 o'clock.
I can count.
I thought we were supposed to be civil to one another.
You're right. Do you happen to have the time?
It's 11 o'clock.
Thank you. That was very civil of you.
Do you want to turn on the 11 o'clock news?
Well, we won't have news of the baby. The phone, that will have news of the baby.
I meant for news about the storm.
I've just looked outside. The news is it's still snowing.
I thought you were very civil at dinner.
I promised my daughter. Mine works just the opposite.
Then don't drink any more coffee.
What, you'd leave a man defenseless?
That was a very touching story you told about your wife.
What, you mean the one about the night she gave birth to Alice?
Yes.
That was some adventure, that was. You know, I haven't thought about that night in years.
Well, you probably thought about it because tonight the story comes full circle. Tonight your little baby is having a baby.
If my little baby ever finished jump-starting Hector's car. You know, it's too bad, but years from now, Jerry's gonna have difficulty having a touching story to tell.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, if he was jump-starting an Eskimo's car, now that would have a little romance to it. But Puerto Ricans, they're always jump-starting their cars. There's no romance.
Were you romantic when you were younger?
Well, who wants to know?
Just curious.
Well, I tell you, Mrs. Just Curious, I was probably about the second most romantic kid in the neighborhood.
Who was the first?
Oh, that was Manny. Manny from the fruit store. All the ladies loved Manny. He was a real hot-blooded fruit man.
I don't mean a woman charmer. I mean a romantic soul, a romantic spirit.
Are you kidding? I was a cab driver. All cab drivers are romantic. It goes with the territory. For 10, maybe 20 minutes, you're a part of someone else's life. Ah, you see it all. Lovers kissing, lovers fighting, drunks that want to tell you the life story. You take people to weddings, to funerals. Why, you even take ladies in labor to the hospital and their husband, he's in the back seat and he's yelling, "Quick, go faster! Go through that red light!" Ah, those were the days.
Did you ever have a baby born in your cab?
I had 3, 2 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, that must be a beautiful experience.
It's a mess.
I thought you were romantic.
Listen, now, you wouldn't be so romantic if you had to clean up afterwards. What do you think, the mother and father are going to stick around? Still and all, you can't refuse someone when they say, "Quick, take us to the hospital," and it's the middle of the night.
I thought you drove days. You always said your wife was always waiting for you when you got home at night.
Oh, I drove days, nights, weekends. We were poor, I drove. For me, nighttime was whenever I got home.
And your wife would be waiting.
Well, where else would she be?
Did you ever fight?
Oh, with Louise? Oh, all the time. She was one of the best.
That sounds like a compliment.
Of the highest order. She should rest in peace. Anyway, tell me now, what did your husband do?
Jerry never told you?
Well, he did, you know, but I forgot.
Leonard worked for the Department of Water in Rochester.
Ah, now I remember why I forgot. Not as romantic as driving a hacker or selling fruit.
Leonard was as romantic as vanilla pudding.
Well, then why did you marry him?
When I was younger, most of the men I dated were musicians. They drank and they carried on, and even then they were smoking marijuana. I guess by the time Leonard came along, I was ready for pudding.
If I'm not being too personal, why did he leave?
He left because one day I said, "Leonard, I can't take it anymore. I want you to leave."
What, you asked him to leave? I heard that he just took off.
Who told you that?
Some fellow at the wedding said one night he just took off, vanished.
Vanished. He packed his bags, moved to San Francisco, the Ansonia Hotel room 314.
He packed his bag, did he? That's funny, you know. Wasserman, he was wondering whatever happened to his clothes.
When you can tell your Mr. Wasserman the clothes are safe and sound in San Francisco with Leonard.
Ah, but do you think that he's still there after all these years?
Well, I send him money every few months. I guess somebody is cashing the checks.
You sent him money? What, they don't have a water department in San Francisco?
He gets Social Security. That pays for his room and board. And me, I make a small contribution to his habit. He gambles.
Ah, so that's why you kicked him out.
I didn't exactly kick him out. You live with a compulsive gambler for 10 years, and you beg and you plead and you reason with him, and then one day you just can't take it anymore. It seemed the right thing to do. I had my piano teaching, and I had Jerry. Life was much happier after Leonard.
If I'm not being too personal, Why do you still send him money?
I don't know. I ask myself that question every time I write a check. The man's a bum, but he's not a bad man, he just has a sickness. Why, some people give to charity. I guess Leonard is my charity.
You know, it's amazing. You live under the same roof with someone for 7 months and then you realize you really don't know much about them at all.
Why, you've never asked.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have asked at all. I really didn't mean to upset you.
It's okay, it's not one of my favorite subjects, but like I said the day I moved in, I'm a survivor.
That was some day, the day that you moved in.
Every day has been some day since I moved in.
But for now, here, a truce.
Truce.
By the by, now as long as we're being so civil with each other, did Alice and Jerry happen to mention to you about the wonderful apartment they've rented?
Yes, they happened to mention they fixed it up very nicely for you.
You're a funny woman, Mrs. Sloan.
A survivor can't survive without a sense of humor, Mr. Dreyfus.
Yes, well, I told them I wouldn't be moving into the apartment.
Me either.
But that shuffleboard, you could have the washerman's over for coffee and shuffleboard.
You see, a sign from God. He definitely doesn't want me to take the apartment.
A little late for that. How do you know it was you? How do you know he was giving you a sign? Maybe it was for me. You know, thank you. I don't think that's God at all. I think that's Maxim. Anyway, it must be the storm. Do you know if Jerry has a flash?
Mr. Dreyfus, are you there?
Of course I'm here. I told you I'm not moving out, didn't I?
Don't joke, I get nervous in the dark. Where are you?
I'm right here where I was 2 seconds ago on the sofa.
Is that you?
Well, if it's not me, it's someone else. When it's someone else, and I'm the one that's getting the... Yeah,
Nervous.
whatever.
I'll
Here.
stay here.
Yeah, you wait right here. I'll go and see what the hell is going on.
Where are you going? Don't leave me alone.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going over to the window to see if it's the whole neighborhood or just this house.
Well, keep talking. I hate being in the dark. Ever since I was a little girl, please.
Well, what do you want me to talk about?
I don't know. Hum, sing, make noise, anything.
Give me crack corn and I don't care. Give me crack corn and I don't care. Give me crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away.
Keep singing.
That's all the words that I know to the song.
Well, then make some up.
Is that how Jerry got his beginning?
Please, no jokes.
Okay, I'm at the window now.
And
And it looks like it's the whole neighborhood. Maybe the whole state of Connecticut.
thank God.
But thank God for a power failure.
Well, better the whole state than just one house. That means they'll send somebody to fix it.
Here, I'm coming back to the sofa now. You have any special requests? How about Lady of Spain? Now that one I know most of the words too. Wait, don't answer that. I'll get it. It might be the radio station. Hang on. Go!
It's Jerry. I know it.
Go, my knee! My knee!
Hello, Jerry. What is it?
Oh, my knee!
Mom, what's going on? Are you fighting?
No, Connecticut's having a power failure.
Ooh!
What's the matter with Abe?
Oh, he tripped in the dark. He's fine.
Now, don't tell him I'm fine. Tell him I'm not fine.
Jerry, did Alice have the baby?
Yes, it's a boy.
It's a No. Would you just be a gentleman, please, and hold me before I fall into a million pieces?
Hold you?
Please? Oh,
Are you all right?
I didn't want to say anything. But when Alice went into labor, I was afraid it was induced from too much emotion. I blamed myself for upsetting her.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe I upset her also.
I know, I blamed you too.
Thank you.
So how's your knee?
Now let me stand up. I'll see if it's all right. Ow!
Don't
Oh!
put any unnecessary pressure on it. Mr. Dreyfus,
Yes?
you haven't congratulated me on becoming a grandmother.
Congratulations.
You know, I've waited 66 years to become a grandmother. I think the occasion calls for a little more than that.
You want to shake hands?
A little more than that.
Mrs. Sloan, we're in-laws.
So, we're not outlaws, we're in-laws.
But in-laws are natural enemies.
Then, if we're natural enemies, what are you doing sitting here in the dark with your arms around me?
I was thinking it might be the wine.
It's more like I'm a woman and you're a man. That makes us natural friends.
Makes us natural friends.
Come on! I'm blank. Makes us special friends.
Then how come we've been fighting?
That's the one. Then how come we've been fighting like cats and dogs for the past 7 months?
Because we've both been petty, childish, and immature. We put the poor kids through hell, and for what? To prove that they loved one of us more than the other? Well, I learned a valuable lesson tonight. Why, our arguing has caused a lot more grief than I ever realized. If anything had happened to Alice or the baby, I don't know that I could have lived with myself.
Maybe we should,
Maybe we should what?
well, maybe we should not argue as much. I mean, not as hard. Well, at least not in front of the children.
I can see this isn't going to be easy for you.
I was born to squabble. It'll be like giving up a part of my charm.
I'll tell you what. If you give up your ugly, hating kinds of fights, I promise to give you a nice, good, healthy disagreement at least once a day. After all, to argue is to live, if you get my gist.
You know, you're not so terrible as I've said you are.
You're not so bad yourself.
Well, I'm not Manny the Fruit Man.
You have some good points, I noticed.
Yeah? Like what?
Well, you've got strong arms and nice aftershave.
You know, you have some good points yourself.
Like what?
Well, no matter what else, you are an attractive woman, Mrs. Sloan.
Mildred.
Oh, Mildred.
Mr. Dreyfus.
Want to know what else?
What else?
You put up a first-class argument, Mildred.
Mr. Dreyfus.
Abe.
Abe, you still haven't congratulated me on becoming a grandmother.
Mrs. Sloan, if I didn't know better, I'd say that you were trying to flirt with me.
And what if I were?
A man my age? Now listen, I wasn't very good at this when I was 17, and I don't think I'd be very good at it now.
You're never too old.
I'm 73.
Once you learn to ride, it's like riding a bike. Once you learn, you never forget.
Ah, well, I fall off bicycles.
Abe.
My family has a history of falling.
Abe.
My grandfather, he should rest in peace. He had a history.
Congratulations, Abe.
Congratulations, Mildred.
Millie. Call me Millie.
Black. Change, go.
Jonathan Lewis Sloan. It's a nice name for the baby, don't you think?
Oh, it's wonderful. Almost as catchy as, Muhammad Ali.
Abe Dreyfus.
Another wonderful name.
I don't think we should be fighting when the children get home.
I am not fighting.
You haven't said a pleasant thing to me all day.
Merry Christmas. Now let me know when I'm getting a little too pleasant for you.
We have been over this 50 times already.
Then listen this time. I think it's best if I take the apartment. You stay here. You have a heart condition.
My heart is fine, and to show you that it's in the right place, I am moving out. You're staying here. There. Now are you satisfied? That makes 51 times. Now do you want to go for 52, or should we let Alice and Jerry decide?
I don't think we should put the burden on them.
That's my whole point. I'm the burden. They're young. They have a little baby. What do they want with an old man around the house?
Shh, they're here. I'm moving out. Don't shush me.
Don't shush me! Don't shush Jesus! I'm moving out. I'm trying to do something nice for Alice and Jerry. I'm leaving.
I'm moving out. I'm almost. Hi, dear. Oh, we've been trying to come home. Jerry! Oh, Daddy! Oh, the baby!
Oh, Mrs. Fisher, this is my father, Mr. Dreyfus, and my mother-in-law, Mrs. Sloan.
Mildred. Call me Mildred. And what is your name, Mrs. Fisher?
Mrs. Fisher.
Can I see the baby?
He's wet.
Well, he's invisible wet.
He's a Pisces. Pisces are always wet.
I thought all babies were wet. What, it's your medical opinion that babies born in March are extra wet?
Madam, if you don't mind, I would like to change baby now. And then people may see him.
Oh, please, Daddy, it'll only take a few minutes.
Thank you, Mrs. Sloan. You waited 9 months. Another minute won't kill you.
Follow me, Mrs. Fisher. The changing room's in the master bedroom, temporarily.
I'll call you when baby is ready.
What's the matter, Alice? You feel bad that the baby missed World War II? You had to bring back the Gestapo?
He is a little stirring.
Stern? Alice, Attila the Hun was stern? That woman's a barracuda. And you go against your own father?
Daddy, she's been a governess for 20 years. She must know what she's doing.
Do you know how long Franco was a dictator? Do you know how long MacArthur was a senator? Did they know what they were doing?
Just give her a chance. If she doesn't work out, we'll get somebody else.
I gave her a chance. She's not working out. Alice, she doesn't even know the baby's name. I'll call you when baby is ready.
Oh, is everything okay?
Yep. Said she doesn't like the wallpaper.
In our room?
No, she's changing them in our room. She took a quick look into Jonathan's room first. Hates the wallpaper.
The one with the little bunnies on it.
And she says it's too busy.
There, you see, Alice? You see, she doesn't even like little bunnies. Maybe she would prefer little barracudas.
I was away for 4 days. Did you guys behave yourselves?
What do you mean, behave?
Behave. To comport oneself in the proper manner. To refrain from arguing while Alice is in the hospital.
We promised, didn't we?
Daddy, I'm the lawyer. Don't answer a question with a question.
Baby is ready to see you now.
Good, good. I was hoping to see him before he left for college. Excuse us, lawyer.
Try not to overstimulate him.
What would I... Gee. What would I do? Show him dirty pictures?
Oh, it's good to be home. But I'll be glad when we get all this stuff settled. She said to bring it up as soon as we got home.
Well, Alice, I thought maybe we could give him a chance to see the baby first, you know, and let Al or Abe and Mrs. Fisher become fast friends.
Yes, we are doing the right thing. Are there any other questions? Yes, I love you very much.
Well, that wasn't a question, but it was sure a good answer.
Alice, he looks just like you. Well, he's a little bit dark, kind of like my mother's side of the family.
I beg that everybody's a spitting image of Jerry.
You think he looks like Jerry? He doesn't look a bit like Jerry. I'm Jerry's mother, and I can tell you point blank he doesn't look like Jerry.
You don't think he looks like Jerry? He's got the same big ears.
He
Hey!
does not have big ears.
Neither does Jonathan. Jerry, you think Jonathan has big ears?
I don't think anybody has big ears, me
Now
or
listen,
Jonathan.
Listen, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I beheld big ears. He's still a nice kid, beautiful. He'll just grow his hair long.
What makes you such an expert on beauty and fashion? Who are you anyway, Vidal Sassoon? Why don't you go upstairs and put on your glasses and you'll see that...
Mom, cool it. Sorry, line. Alice, we made the right decision. Folks, sit down. Alice and I have something we want to discuss with you.
Go ahead, sit. I want to say this when I still can. Now, Alice and I have discussed this at great length. And we've been agonizing over this decision, and we've come to a decision about the living arrangements around here. We want you both to move out by the end of the month.
Both? You said that a few days ago that one of us could stay.
I know, but we've decided that it'll be the best for the four of us if you both move out by the end of the month. Now, we've agonized over this decision.
Look, we'll do whatever we can to help you move, but that's it. At the end of the month, you both go. No favorites.
Jerry, tell me, is that apartment, that one on Westover Road, is that still available?
Sure, one of you can have it if you still want it.
Great, I'll take it. You know, it's not too far. I'll still be able to visit you and the baby, and I can still see Wasserman, and that's a wonderful idea. Yes, I'll take it.
You'll take it. Just like that, bam, bam, you'll take it. Don't I get a vote? Well, what if I just want to be a few blocks away so I can see the baby? Like, what if I want to have the Wassermans over? What am I supposed to do?
Well, if you had any brains in your head, you'd move in with me.
Move in with you? You've got to be joking.
Well, I know I'm not the easiest man in the world
You're
to
the
live
most
with.
impossible man I ever met. What? I couldn't live with you. I couldn't live with him. You're asking me to live with you?
Well, you seem surprised.
A little?
Well, I admit I'm a little surprised too, but judging by the last 4 days,
Mr. Dryden, I'd have to think it over.
well, take your time. We have till the end of the month.
Hello, WCMW plays the country hits y'all want to hear. Hello? They hung up. I guess if it's important, they'll call back.
What the hell is going on here?
Jerry, I think your mother just made a decision. We'll call it option 4.
You two are going to live together?
Apparently.
As much as you can live together.
Why not?
Well, because.
For this, I paid for law school?
I'll get it.
Here, I'll come with you. Hey, Jerry, your mouth's open.
It's Hector.
Ah, hello, Hector.
look at that.
Hey, I see you brought your horse. What's the matter? The car wouldn't start again?
Congratulations, Mrs. Sloan, Mr. Sloan.
Hector!
For the baby.
Oh, it's beautiful. Where did you ever find it?
Oh, I did not find it. I made it myself.
Where did you
My
learn to make
wife
something like
developed
this?
to paint it.
Oh, where did you learn to make something like this?
Oh, upstairs, in the bathroom. Oh, I found a magazine up there with the plans. It was easy. It just take a lot of time.
You sure you didn't build it up there?
Hey, where is the baby anyway? I want to get a picture for my family. I borrowed this camera from my brother-in-law.
Yeah, he's upstairs. Dad, Mildred, would you show Hector upstairs?
Oh, sure thing. Come on, partner. Climb on your horse. But watch out for the rattlesnake, if you get my gist.
Jerry, I'm in shock.
It's amazing. That must have taken them 200 hours to build that thing.
Jerry, your mother and my father are going to live together.
Yeah, how about that?
What went on here while I was in the hospital?
I don't know. What do you suppose went on?
Did you hear what he said? Considering the past 4 days? I mean, what do you think went on here? At their age.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he slipped a little vodka into her prune juice. Chased her around the bedroom in his wheelchair. Alice, don't be so naive. They're consenting adults. What do you think went on?
Oh, do you think that they did it?
Why not? Almost everybody else does it. I can even remember when we used to do it.
That's not fair. Dr. Porter said we could do it again in 3 weeks.
Is that my line? It's easy for him to say. Or easy for him to say. You know, I just realized something.
What?
Well, if they're doing it,
Yeah.
then they're doing it more than we are.
Oh, Jerry, you're so perverse. I mean, look at how old they are.
How old was your great-grandfather when he fell
think my ability to feel something for another woman died when she died?
Well, do you love her?
Let me tell you what love is when you're 8 drivers at 73. You know, it's not sparks flying or whistles whistling or pinwheels spinning or anything like that. It's, well, maybe a few toots and whistles. But basically, it's finding a good, honest, decent, intelligent woman. Someone I can talk to. Someone I can joke with. Someone I can spend the day with. Someone I can argue with. And at the end of the argument, if she's the right person, we can still talk and joke and spend the day together. Now, Alice, if that's love, yes, I've got it.
And now that you're 73 years old, you're going to start living together like a couple of kids out of high school?
What, do you want me to act my age?
Well, don't you care what people will think, what people will say?
Come here, sweetie. Sit down here. Alice, most people my age worry about getting senile. Now, a few years ago, I wondered what would happen if I didn't get senile. What do I do if I'm alive and alert and there are things that I can still do that I couldn't do, that I can do when I was younger? What do I do if I don't want to be pigeonholed into some socially acceptable senior citizen's lifestyle? Now, would you be happy to see me sitting on a park bench, tipping my hat to the ladies, and then going home and eating strained vegetables and watching Lawrence Welk on television? Is that your idea of the way a 73-year-old man should spend out his final days? Alice, what if some night I want to drink a half a bottle of wine and go skinny dipping with Mildred and the Wassermans? Now, if I was 17, that would be all right. If I was 45, it'd still be okay. So why, when I'm 73, do I have to stop living? I mean, I may have 20 years left. I may have 20 minutes. But either way, I don't want to waste my time sitting in some wheelchair waiting for my time to be up. When it's up, I know that God in His wisdom will see to it that I am the first to know. I want to live every day that He sees fit to give me. I want to live it. I want to live it my way. With the woman I love. I know. My way, da-da-da, with the woman I love. And the hell with what anyone else thinks. If you get my gist.
What can I say?
Now look, now, I know it's a reversal on an old tradition, but we were kind of hoping that you'd give us your blessing.
You have my blessing. And my love.
Me too.
Both of you.
Congratulations.
Cheery.
Come in, it's open.
Congratulations! Congratulations! How's the new baby?
He's wonderful. Would you like to meet him?
Well, in 2 seconds. Esther will be right over with a cake she made. It's a birthday cake for the new baby. Sent me over to make a quick pot of coffee. So, Dreyfus, how you doing now that you're a grandfather?
I tell you, Watson, and Mrs. Sloan and I are moving into an apartment on Westover Road.
Good. That makes sense. It's practical. You can share the rent. Westover Road. 2-bedroom over there can run you an arm and a leg.
We're moving into a 1-bedroom.
You won't, no? So when are you moving in?
Well, probably as soon as we get back from vacation.
Vacation? When did you two decide to go on vacation?
2 minutes ago, up in the bedroom, well, Millie and I decided that we needed a little holiday before we settled down.
And where are you and Millie going?
Florida.
Europe.
Florida.
We haven't quite decided yet. Europe, probably Rome or Florence.
We have decided we're going to Florida, probably Miami.
Darling, Millie wants to go to Europe.
Sugar, Amy wants to go to Florida.
Please, sir, I do not want to have my picture taken.
I just want a family picture, please.
So there he is, cute kid.
Come on, everybody.
I'm not sure who he looks like. in between.
Yeah, are you going to Europe?
Are you
Carry
going
on.
to Europe?
Send me a postcard in my hand.
There's a line before I
Hey,
say that.
There's a lot more lines.
Go on.
Daddy, relax. You'll love Europe. Mildred's right. You just love it.
Stay out of it, Alice. It's been a long, cold winter. Let him go to Florida and get some sun.
Stay out of it, Jerry. There's sun in Europe.
Have you thought about Atlantic City?
Madam, baby is losing his patience.
He's wet.
He's hungry.
Maybe he doesn't like cameras.
Maybe he doesn't like people.
Get closer, closer.
Can't understand you.
I can't understand you. Europe has music, art, museums.
Well, Florida has dog tracks and high alive.
Atlantic City has blackjack.
Hold on, I'm setting the timer.
Come on, Johnny boy, he's setting the timer.
His
Come on
name
now.
is Jonathan.
Good cheek, good cheek.
I'm ready.
You promised me wouldn't call him Johnny Boy.
I'm ready.
Good cheek, good cheek, good cheek.
Everybody smile.
I'll smile when somebody tells me he's taking me to Europe.
I have a niece, Florence, in Miami. We'll drop by on the way.
Miami's not on the way to
Keep going. It is the way I drive.
Everybody smiling, smiling.
Good cheek, good cheek, good cheek.
Would you kindly keep your coochie-coochies to yourself? Madam, please.
Jerry, do
Hurry
something.
up, Hector.
Hurry up, Hector.
Yes, hurry up, Hector. We're driving to
We're
Florida.
not driving anywhere. We're flying to Europe.
For crying out loud. Will everybody please smile? Ah, that's beautiful. One big happy family.
I was waiting for you to give the cue for that line, not
But
my
it's
line.
gone. It's already been done.
What?
Say that I could have guessed. He doesn't. Did you say you
I know my line.
We know you know your lines, we've got it all on tape.
Well, I know you don't know your lines.
Well, you
I
can-
just had the whole play while you were saying your lines.
That's all right, let's do the photograph thing one more
I
time.
think it's a
Roger?
joke, guys. Tomorrow,
I'm gonna get my kids
everybody-
over.
Okay,
Three of them, you can do it.
I'm gonna get my kids over.
Where you
just
don't
one
do
more
it.
time.
Sure we should.
What
are you guys doing?
Please.
Okay, let's run the picture say once.
you should run it tomorrow night again.
Okay.
Well, you do the Italian run through and the run. He's got a Italian run through only takes about an hour. It only takes it a Then I say,
Let's
go
keep
bang,
it
bang,
a
bang,
little
bang.
louder. The baby works good, it's not loud enough, but it could be a little louder.